everybody. Welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica.
So it's that time of the week. It's time for us to do our 1 minute book recs. This is where we go over all the books we read in the past week with 1 minute synopsises for each book. But Mandy, do we have things to talk about before we get started with that?
Do we?
I don't know. Do we? I'm sure we do.
Like, you want me to tell the people to subscribe, like, comment, and hype our videos. But we also are giving away the Corinne Michaels Come What May PR box. And it does come with a copy. It comes with the indie cover, but it comes with this dust jacket that you can only get from this box. It's not sold anywhere else. Only comes in the box, and the book box is sold out. So if you're wanting a copy, hit that subscribe button and you're automatically entered to win.
Yay!
The PR box. And we have a post about that if you want to see a little bit more about what's inside there.
Okay. All right. Well, how was your reading week?
I read some really good books that were on my list of anticipated when we did for 2026,
for
not
the
just
year
for the month, but
yeah.
for 2026. Yeah. So 3 of them I think came out like in the same week. So I had like definitely a Sophie's choice about what to read first, but I got through all of them. So it was a very good reading week.
Good. Same. I actually found an author that was recommended by one of our viewers. And I jumped into it and I like went down a whole rabbit hole and it was pretty awesome. So we'll talk about that too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I know we have one other thing we could talk about.
What?
Book club.
Book club.
So book club, Whispers and Wildfire by Claire Kingsley, and book club. Crap, maybe we shouldn't be talking about book club. It is on March 27th at 6 p.m. Pacific. So This is Mature Heroine. And somebody commented, I did a post on the community tab, the post tab, about like what authors would you like to see us do interviews with, any tropes, because we've kind of gotten to a point where we have to reorganize our recording list a little bit and add some stuff in there. So I was just curious if there was anything that people were wanting that we haven't gotten to yet that they like really want us to make a priority. And somebody commented about mature couples and like where both of them are older, like in their 40s or later 30s. So this has Mature Heroine. I don't know how old he is, but I'm going to start trying to pay attention and see. Because they would usually, if it's the heroine is mature over 30, so is the guy. So maybe it's time for us to do another Mature Heroine video. So let us know in the comments if there's something you're really wanting to see and if you'd like to see another Mature Heroine video.
Okay. All right. So how many books did you read?
12. How about you?
I read 10, but one was a trilogy. So I'm only going to talk about 8.
Okay.
So you're starting. Yay for you.
You were complaining about how you never have any time to read and you aren't getting anything read and you still got 10 in. That's a lot.
I did. Yeah. And I even have a friend here visiting. This week, though, they'll be lower because we're off doing girly things and I'm not reading at work and stuff. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. And then you and I get to see each other.
Mm-hmm. For like the fastest trip in history.
Fastest trip ever, 24 or 48 hours down there. It's okay.
I'm not really excited about that, but it is.
About being with me? That is rude.
No, about the quick turnaround.
I know. It is what it is, though. So, yep. Okay. Well, what was your first book? You're not even ready, are you?
No, I am.
Good.
The first book that I read this week, or a recording week, I should say, was Barbarians Redemption by Ruby Dixon. So let me start the timer. So this is about Ellie and Beck, and it is number 12 in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. So Ellie has been on this slave. She's been a slave since like her very early teens, so for a very long time. And she has learned that if she keeps herself dirty keeps her hair over her face and doesn't speak, that living in the cage is way better than getting picked. And so this has become like her big defense mechanism for what's going on. And I would say this is one where it gets a little bit darker, that we don't typically see in this series. So Beck is kind of really bummed out that everyone on the planet has resonated with someone and he has not. All the females are now basically claimed, and it's very upsetting to him. So he gets it in his mind to pay that captain that we saw in the other book to go and buy more slaves to bring back there. And so that's what happens. And Ellie's one of them. And they bring back all these slave girls. And he does not understand why the tribe basically loses their shit on him because he just bought them. And in his mind, he's like, but they're going to come live here and be free and be happy. So in his mind, it was a good thing. But yeah.
And it is a good thing. That's where I was like, wait, but it is a good, like, I get what they're saying is bad, but they were in service to bad people. So it is a good thing, but I still get both sides.
Yes. So it kind of just unleashes a whole shit show on the planet. But Ellie and him are going to end up having a connection eventually. And I really enjoyed this one. I rated it 4 stars.
I like Ellie. I like their relationship. And I wish we had more of them. We see them in future books, but it's never enough.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, the first book that I have was an ALC that I got a few weeks ago, but the audio was pushed out. And so they basically told us to put everything on hold until the ALC or until the audio came out, and it just did come out this week. And I'm really upset because I can't find my book, and I got that book in Phoenix, but that is Unveil by Greer Rivers. So this is the first book in her spinoff from her Tattered Curtain series. So this is number 1 in the Frayed Satin series. This is the kids of the couples that we saw in the first 3 books. And this is about Luna and Orion, and Luna is a ballerina. It's we find out like in the prologue that the parents of these kids, the dads kind of did something they shouldn't have and kind of gambled away their daughters, and so there's like a situation happening there where their hands in marriage have been promised to these other guys. And so it's her 22nd birthday. She's this ballerina, and they're having a party when her boyfriend proposes to her on stage. And then Orion is there. He's been watching in the wings, kind of doing a little stalking because he knew that she was going to be his at some point in time. And he's not happy about this. So he kind of like sort of, he kidnaps her. He takes her. And, things go crazy from there. So I really enjoyed it. I gave it a solid 4 stars. The audio, I probably should tell you guys that audio is done by the amazing Corvin King and Molly Stark. And I don't know if I've ever listened to Molly Stark before, but they both did an amazing job. Have you listened to Molly Stark? Does that name ring a bell to you?
I think so.
Okay.
But the name sounds very familiar, but I'm not.
Well, I mean, the whole
sure.
Stark thing is like Avengers. So, Iron Man. And I'm like, is that why the name's familiar? I don't know.
I've never watched this. I can't tell you. All right. Next. What?
Did you say you've never watched those?
No.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but oh my gosh, come on. All right, we'll have to talk about that later, okay?
Okay. So next I read a book.
You did?
I did. That you've read.
Okay.
And I don't remember why. I don't know if this was one you've just recently talked about and I decided it sounded good, or if it was in a convincing and I didn't pick it. I don't remember why. I know you've recently talked about it and I was like, I really want to read that. So I did. And that's Tragic by Devony Perry.
Oh, I read it a long time ago, but yes, I had it in a convincing, I think, a little bit ago.
Was that what it was?
Okay. I think so.
So this is about Piper and Kane. Piper is recently divorced, and like anyone who gets divorced, she has moved to Montana to start over. And she gets there, she ends up buying this house that's like out like in Montana country, but it needs a lot of work. And so she's living, I think, is like an Airstream or travel trailer on the property while all these renovations are being done. Kane is her neighbor, but they're not like next door neighbors because it's out in the country. But all the renovations are driving Kane nuts because he's used to this being like his sanctuary and it's quiet and he's a little closed off because of some things that have happened, and those layers are slowly peeled back as the story goes along. But he kind of comes over to confront her, and they have this dispute about the property and the noises and like all the stuff from the renovations. And their dispute escalates very quickly into everybody losing their clothes.
Yes.
And from there is the story continues. So I'll leave it at that. But I was
Mhm.
like, wow, that was an interesting dispute that escalated.
Very quickly into no clothes. Yep, in an airstream. It's great. Yeah. Did you say what you rated it?
I rated it 4 stars.
Okay. All right. I find it very interesting that everybody just gets divorced and goes to Montana.
In her books, that seems to be the case.
A lot of Devaney's books take place in Montana. So, but she's
Yes,
not the
but
only author.
the other one, well, I guess it wasn't a divorce. She just was fleeing. Like, and this lady was coming from New York, and so was the other one. So a lot of women leave New York and go to Montana and find love. So if you're
I'm
watching
giggling.
and you need to find love, if you're in New York, go to Montana.
My friend is visiting from Montana this week, and she's sitting in here listening to us, and she's like, "No, sorry to burst your bubble, ladies.
Well, it's working in these books.
It's working in the books." Now, Devaney, I believe, lives outside of Spokane, so she is a Washingtonian, and but she likes Montana. I think she grew up in Montana or something. I can't remember why. No, I ordered
Mhm.
from her, and it comes like it says where it's coming from if you order directly from her website. Silly ghost.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm totally stalking. Okay, are you ready for my next book?
You did ask Jagger Cole a lot of questions about where he lives.
Yeah, I don't know anything about where he lives, so we're okay.
You have this map of the United States
With
and
like
like
little pins with all my
pens
authors.
for where certain authors live, and like
Yes.
somewhere in this circle.
Like this radius, yeah. This is where it is, yeah. Okay, so the next book that I read was a reread, but we'd been doing like the Claire Kent. We were reading the Claire Kent book for our buddy read, and I just love post-apocalyptic. And so when I got done with that, I was really missing one of my favorite post-apocalyptics, and I've talked about this before. We're talking about it again, and that is the Third Storm trilogy. So this is the trilogy that I read this week. I love this book so much. Don't laugh at me. So this is just good. This is about Rowan and Sam. So this is the end of the world. Storms have ravaged the continent, and right now the military has these boats that are going to, like, they're military boats, and that's where people are going to survive the third storm. And so Rowan is basically a single mom to her 2 nephews, that 4-year-old Bo and Lewis. She calls them Baloo. Love that. But they have passage secured for them onto this boat, and it was secured for her by her ex-fiance. And so she's trying to get the boys to the boat. And then as they're trying to get to a vehicle to get to the boat, they see a guy in a ditch, and he's injured, and the boys won't move until she puts him in the car and takes them with them. And so they do. And when they get there, the person that she is impersonating to get on the boat is a woman who was in the military with a son, with 2 kids and a husband. And she has since passed away. So she's impersonating her. And she tells them, "This is my kid, and this is my husband, Sam." And so from then, he's like completely out. Like, he has no clue what's going on. They end up in this little shoebox of a room together, and they have to survive all of the intrigue and everything that's happening. So this is a very, very fast-paced series. There is audio out for it now, and it just goes. It is from the get-go, from the jump. It is like a heart in your throat. How are we going to survive this? So it's one of those fast-paced, really fun ones. Stakes are high. Some paranormal stuff comes into play too.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, my next book is a new release, and I started this right after it came out. I just didn't get it done for our cutoff that we do, so that's why this is a little delayed, but I was so eager for this one. And I have been wanting this book before Liz Tom Ford even said she was going to write it, and that is In Her Own League. This is a spinoff from the Windy City series. You do not have to read it, but the Windy City series is so good, and it just makes this book even better. So in this, we have Monty as the coach of the Major League Baseball team, and Reese is the guy, the owner's granddaughter, and he has been preparing her to take over owning the team. And this is kind of where we start, is where she is now full owner and in charge of everything. And her and Monty don't see eye to eye on things to start off with, which creates a very rocky relationship for them. The board doesn't treat her very well because they're not happy that a woman is running this. And one of the guys is pretty pushy about the fact that he should be the field manager. He knows more about baseball and all of that. And then Monty kind of gets a little riled up because he doesn't like how they're treating her. And so he starts to defend her, which kind of throws her off. There's a lot of banter in this. The press is mean to her, and there's a lot going on. So it is a little bit of a slow burn because this is one of those forbidden work romances where it actually feels forbidden because no one is going to take her seriously in this role if she's in a relationship with the head coach, right? Like, she's supposed to be the owner of the team. How is this a neutral situation? She's the only female owner. She has a lot to prove. So the forbidden high stakes aspect of this felt very real for me. It's not like she can just go get a new job or he can go get a new job, like sometimes happens in workplace romances. So I absolutely love this one. It is a solid 5 stars. And I can't wait for Liz to write more. Apparently, the next series, not in this world, but a little bit, is coming in November. So I'm very excited for that. Also, if you have a mother, the dedication got me a little bit because she lost her mom a couple weeks after she finished the book. And so my mom also passed away several years ago. So those types of dedications get me a little bit.
Okay. All right. You ready for my next one? Because this next book started it started my spiral this week.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you spiraled.
I spiraled into an author.
Okay.
And her
I don't
list.
know that you told me this.
Oh, I think we might. Oh, yeah, we talked a little bit about this. But
Oh, okay.
this one, okay, so this book was suggested to us in our Omegaverse video that we had last week by one of our amazing viewers.
Okay, now I know what you're
And
talking about.
yes, and I jumped on it when they said that. Oh my God, this is going to be one of my top books of the year. Guarantee it, hands down. Right now is the angstiest thing I have read in years. Like, had anxiety through the whole book. It's like almost 700 pages, I think, this book. It's almost 600 pages. It's friggin' good. And it doesn't on a cliffhanger. And the next book will be out in April. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. It's coming. It's coming. Okay, so this is Tormented Omega by Mary Magdalene. Like I said, book 2 comes out. She's hoping the first part of April, but we'll see. We're planning on April. It's already written. It's coming, guys. So this is about our heroine, V. She is an Omega. She has been with the pack for 5 years, or almost 5 years. She's about 30 days out from that 5-year mark because this pack of 3 guys have promised her. So she's not their scent match. And in their world, if they find their scent match, they can bring in other Omegas into the home. But if they bond her and she's not their scent match, then they lose all possibility of finding that perfect match for them that they'd do anything for. And so they have been together for almost 5 years. They promised her at the 5-year mark that they would bond her in if they have not found their scent match. So she's about 30 days out from that when they have these amazing couple of days, or amazing day at a zoo and doing some of her favorite things. And the guys are like, we need to have a little talk with you tonight. And so she thinks that they're going to tell her that they're going to bond her into the pack. When they sit her down, they tell her, we found our scent match. We've known about her for 2 months. We've been courting her for 2 months. We're bringing her home. And now we're going to have both of you. And so, well, there we go. And so she has to learn how to live in a house with the other woman and be okay with it and bring her into their space. And she's lived with these guys and had a relationship with them with 5 years. And then since the other woman is the scent match, their tendency is going to be to side with her and protect her and do what she needs and meet her needs, because that is just part of their biology. And so it is oh God, it's so angsty. It hurts so good. So it gets all the stars this week. And I can't wait for the other half. Mm-hmm.
I would not be happy unless it eventually ends with the other woman leaving. And it's probably not going to work out that way.
The other woman it's hard because she's young and she's been through trauma just like this one has. And there's times when I can see, there's times when they get along a little bit where you kind of want to sympathize with her because she's not it's not her fault that she was brought into this situation, but at the same time, you want poor V, who's our heroine, to be like, you want her to have her happily ever after, and you just want them to kick that girl to the curb. But how do you do that when she's their scent match, and she's kind of a little bit young, kind of a little bit spoiled, and it's, oh gosh, yeah, total. The emotions are there. The emotions are there, and it's just getting ripped out left and right. So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Next.
so I continued on with my journey of all the books that I've been dying to read that just came out, and that is Across the Vanishing Sky by Catherine Cowles. I was just making sure when I dropped it, I didn't damage it.
Yes.
Okay, so this is about Brayden and Dex. Brayden is our heroine. Oh, and this is the first book in her new series, Starlight Grove. So Bray moves to Starlight Grove with her young son because her and her best friend were hiking there on a trail, and her best friend just vanished. And the police force just doesn't really seem to be that interested in finding her. They're convinced she fell in the river and is gone, or a wild animal drug her away. And Bray is like, no, I know that is not what happened. So she has moved here, and she is determined to find her friend and get somebody to help her. She ends up meeting Dex. There's a kind of a funny meet cute with them, and Dex is a hacker. He's worked for the FBI, but him and his brothers try and lay low as much as possible because their dad was a serial killer, and they just want to try and keep people off their backs as much as possible because that's a really tough thing to have been through. And so he agrees to help her try to find her best friend. So I rated it 5 stars. This will also be probably a top read for me. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the next book in the series. I like that Catherine Cowles writes pretty quick and already has release dates.
How did that Brayden as the heroine work for you?
They call her Bray most of the time.
Yeah, I call my Brayden Bray most of the time too. That's interesting.
Is this probably one of the first times I've heard Brayden as a female
for me
name,
as a female name? Yeah, same. Yeah, I was just curious if that tripped you up.
In the line of work that I do, I find a lot of names don't always match the typical.
No.
Yeah.
Nope. Yep. All right, you ready for my next one?
I wish though the authors, for the purpose of writing books, would write like very specific non-gender neutral
but I think
names.
that authors probably get bored with that, and then that's when you get a name like Brayden for a heroine, you know. Yeah, like it's kind of like now that we've had all our kids and we're not having kids anymore, I'm like, oh, what would I have named them if I got to do it now? You know, they'd all have different names just because I'm a different person now than I was then. Okay,
you ready to rename your children?
Oh, heck yeah, in a heartbeat. I mean, not that like, no, I guess I shouldn't say I would rename them, but if I was to have another child, I've got a lot of names that weren't on my radar when I was having my kids. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Plus, my husband kept poo-pooing all the names I wanted because of our last name. Anyhow. Okay. So now the next book that I picked up is one that had me questioning a lot of things, the author, myself, but I still enjoyed the book. And that is Sinner's Retreat by Lauren Beale. This is the first book in her Slaycation series. It's crazy. It is typical Lauren Beale, but it is a dark rom-com. And so this is about our heroine, who is Kendra. And she is known as HBK, so the Heartbreak Killer. She is a serial unaliver, and she is trying to find the person who murdered her brother a few years back. And so she's been on this quest to find this person. She also has a nifty apprentice who is Kat, and Kat is all things sweet and sunshine, and she's trying to figure out how this girl wants to be a serial unaliver, but it is what it is. And she gets she's kind of got a grumpy attitude towards Kat. But Kat finds out that there's this thing happening. It is a retreat called the Sinner's Retreat, and it is where a whole bunch of serial unalivers get together and on a tropical island, and they have these games, and they have a vacation together. It's a slaycation together. And she finds out that the killer that she believes is, which is the one who murdered her brother, will be on this island. So they go to this island to try to find her brother's killer. On the way there, she runs into Ezra on the plane, and they have a one-night stand in Florida. And then lo and behold, oh, but looky, he's one of the murderers that is going to the retreat as well. And they do all sorts of crazy things at these retreats. It gets dark and it gets crazy, but there's some hilarious hijinks that ensue. And I gave it 5 stars. And I don't want to talk about it. I gave it 5 stars.
Okay.
Okay. I know that both of us need therapy, I'm sure. Me and Lauren. But I spend all my money on books, so not therapy.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, so next I continued my journey of books that were releasing during the beginning of March that I really wanted
Yes.
to read. So I read The Stranger in My Bed by Amanda McKenzie. This is a psychological romantic thriller. I'm trying to, my timer wouldn't start. There we go. So this is about Olivia. Olivia, her husband is very rich, like very, very rich. And he may have been swindling a lot of people out of money, and that's how he became very, very rich. And she is on her way back home and discovers that he has jumped off a bridge. She goes, identifies the body, and goes home. And then her whole world starts to unravel very quickly when she finds out that they really had no money. They're in a ton of debt, and the government is basically seizing everything. So once everything is kind of settled down and she's cleared, she decides, so it's about a year later, she moves clear across the country to the West Coast and is just kind of living a very quiet life where nobody's going to recognize her and all of that. And then a man comes to stay in, she's living in like a really kind of small house that has like a little, almost like a little cottage shack type thing on it that she can rent out. So she decides to rent this out to this guy. And from there, the two of them kind of start to have feelings for each other, maybe. And then mysterious things that were her husband start appearing in her house. Dun, dun, dun.
Mm.
And during the story, we're getting a point of view from someone else, but I won't go into that right now.
Okie dokie, schmucky.
I really enjoyed it. I rated it 5 stars.
Okay. All right. Well, I stuck with the Slaycation series for my next book, and I went into Slayigh Ride by Lauren Beale. All right, now there's 4 books out in this series. There'll be a 5th book out later in the year, but this one is a different hero and heroine. This is Kat and Bennett. So Bennett is the half brother to Ezra, who we meet in the first book, and he's in the first book. And Kat is the apprentice Chippy to the heroine from the first book. And so this is their book. They hate each other with a passion, with a fiery passion. It starts in book 1, it continues in book 2. They really hate each other. And the start of this book, at the end of the first book, start of this book, it is decided that, you know, a tropical vacation is great, but let's do one in Alaska at Christmas time with all of these killers. Then we can have like outside Olympic killing games together. And so that is where we see our hero and heroine head to the Great North, and they're up there for this slaycation in Alaska in the winter, which leads to a situation where Bennett and Kat, who, you know, hate each other so much, get stuck in a cabin together overnight when she has frostbite, and that leads to a relationship starting, or things starting. Now, they don't want anybody to find out, especially Kat, because she doesn't want Kendra to find out because everybody would judge her. And so they have to keep it kind of secret. And she also has a crush there too, so it's like a whole thing. Alaska is done very appropriately, and it was 4 stars. I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So we had Lost Song was our buddy read for March. And I had heard that one of the people that we see in Lost Song was in Protected. And I really enjoyed Last Light. So I decided to go read Protected before I read Lost Song. So I read Protected. And this is about Lila. So Lila's trying to survive. I think this was about 2 years after Impact. And Lila's trying to survive. Her boyfriend has died. And so she's been on her own. and she sees some people coming to try and raid. I think it was like the Walmart or something across from where she's been hiding out. So she, while they're gone, she runs over to try and see if she can scavenge anything out of their trucks, and she gets caught and is then offered the opportunity to join up with them. And she's not really keen on the idea, but it's a lot safer than being by herself, so she does. Deck is a part of this group. He's described as like a pretty tall, big, muscular guy. And he is told to basically watch over her when she joins up with the group, and watch over her does he. But the thing is Deck has been through some trauma, and so he is not speaking. And so Lila works on like trying to communicate a little bit with him, but this is also focused very heavily on the group's survival in this time as well as their love story. So it's, I wouldn't say it's a slow burn, but it's a little bit of a slow burn because there's some, like, he's just basically watching over her for a long time before something happens between the two of them. I really, really enjoyed it. I rated it 5 stars.
Okay. Okay, can we talk about the one that I didn't care for this week?
Sure. I
You
have
ready
one
for
of
this?
those coming up too.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to rant too much, but just for fair warning, guys, there
Yeah,
might be
please don't
random.
tell me we don't need to switch over because you didn't like it, because that's when you talk the longest.
Oh no, we're gonna switch over. We're gonna talk about it. So I was really excited for this audio. I've had this book on my Kindle for a while, and I saw audio came out this week, and I was like, yes, because it was supposed to be a really great MC. So this is called Rest in Pieces, and it's by Candace Wright. And I'm just gonna say right now, I know that it's just not for me. And I'll tell you why in a second, but let me tell you about the book first. So this is about Amity, like Amityville Horror, and Genesis. Genesis goes by G. He's in the MC. He finds out at the beginning of the book that his best friend and the president of the MC is going to retire because his wife is pregnant, which causes Genesis to just go crazy. Makes no sense to me. What's the big deal? Just because he's retiring from being president to be a father, I don't understand that. Whatever. He goes out, gets really, really drunk, and then ends up face planting into a set of boobs. The boobs at the bar belong to Amity. She is a female stunt double, and there is a movie coming to town, and they're actually letting the MC is letting the production team film part of their movie on their MC grounds that they own, because it's like this old western, like old western town that's like a ghost town kind of thing. And so that is where they meet. She takes him back to his MC for them. Like, she can tell by the cut where he belongs. She takes him back to to the MC, and then it like becomes this thing. Like, he sees her doing her stunts, and it's like a whole thing. I was really bored. I did give it 3 stars because I think part of this is just me and my own personal opinions. I think some of you guys might actually enjoy it. I did not. I felt like it was boring as hell. But here's the deal. In this book, if you're going to write an MC romance, do it like the guys. It's okay if they're gruff, rough guys. Like, that is 100% okay. That is what we expect. I do not expect the club president or somebody in the MC to be talking about women's rights. These gruff men are not sitting around discussing women's rights. I'm sorry, they just don't care. That is not those guys. Also, they're club whores, okay? They're not club bunnies. I mean, again, I get it's a woman writing this book, but if they're going to be rough and gruff, then make them rough and gruff, MC guys. Don't be afraid of it. It just ruins the book otherwise. So that is my rant. It is over. I did give it 3 stars, but it was not for me. I think I was being kind of generous. Like, there's nothing wrong with the book itself, like the writing and stuff, but no. Pet peeve. Sorry. Next.
Did they participate in Toys for Tots too?
They did have some kind of a toy drive. Yes. Can't do it. I want a dirty MC. A gruff, dirty MC. I'm sorry, but in real life, these badass bikers are not going to be sitting around talking about those things. They're just not. Anyhow.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we continue?
Please, I'm going to need to, or my head's going to explode.
Okay, so next I read another Ice Planet Barbarian. I don't think we need to switch over because the people probably don't want to like continuously hear about every single book.
I think they're all very excited seeing you read Ice Planet Barbarians.
Okay, if you want to switch over, but I don't have a lot to say. Okay.
What was it? Was it a novella though?
No,
Okay, we're
but
switching.
there's
You could just
still
say.
not a lot with this one.
That's okay.
Okay, so this is Barbarians Lady by Ruby Dixon. It is number 13 in the Ice Planet Barbarians. So this is Kate. Kate is really tall. She's a very tall human. And we have, is it Harik or Herrick?
It's Herrick. Her.
Herrick?
I say I
Herrick?
can't. I'm trying to hear. I'm trying to hear the audio in my head.
Herrick.
Nope, that's not it.
He keeps making
Hard.
comments about
Whatever.
her height all the time to her. And she thinks he's making fun of her because that's basically what's happened to her most of her life, that people have given her a bad time about her height, and he is actually complimenting her on her height and thinks it's actually really a good thing, and he's trying to be like flirtatious in his own alien way, but it's coming off really wrong, and then the two of them end up stranded together.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And are
Okay.
forced to work together.
Yep.
This is a miscommunication trope that I can get behind, because he thinks he's being kind and she thinks that he's being an ass.
Is this the one with the boot?
The
Where
boot.
they leave the boot behind? The boot gets left behind. It might be the next one with the boot.
I've read the next one. I don't remember one about a boot being left behind.
Like they tell them, like if they want to go and fulfill resonance, leave a boot behind when they're hiking somewhere, like one of the other aliens. But then somebody falls in a crack and gets hurt, and the boot gets stuck, like left behind because it like falls off, and they all think that they're fulfilling resonance when they really just need help.
Did I totally zone out?
It might not have been that one. Might be one of the other ones right after that. I'm not sure, but I thought it was within these ones. But
Okay.
okay, never mind. Forget the boot.
No, maybe I like missed something.
Yeah.
I was in the alien zone and it went right over my head. I don't know.
So what did you rate it?
4 stars.
Oh, of course. Okay. That's what all mine are. Well, not all. I've got a couple 5s, but okay. The next book I did was okay. So the next book is the start of a trilogy, and I read the first book years ago, and I wanted, like, there wasn't audio out yet. Now there's audio for all 3, and I wanted to read books 2 and 3, but I couldn't remember a lot of what happened in book 1, so I did a re-listen to book 1, and then I'll read 2 and 3 later. So this is called Immoral Steps. Yeah, Immoral Steps by Marissa Farrar. And this is about Lainey. She is about a week out from turning 18 when her mother finally, I don't want to say finally dies, but her mom has been a drug addict her whole life. And she comes home to find her mom dead in the bathroom on the toilet. And, she's thought that it would happen years before it, before now. And the surprise that her mom has lasted this long because her addiction has been so bad. So because she's 17, she has to either go into the system or go to a family member. And she has no family members. The social worker shows up and says, oh, by the way, your mom is married, so you're going to go with your stepdad. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, come to find out that her mom had been married when she was a little girl and never got a divorce. Like, the guy didn't stick around. He was also into drugs and he'd never gotten a divorce. But now he's turned his life around and he's taking care of his 2 boys that are a couple of years older than her. One of his boys is a blind violinist who is like extremely well known. He's like rock star level. And then the other brother kind of takes care of it. So he manages his one son, the other brother kind of runs the protection detail on his brother. So she goes with them. And she goes and watches her brother perform one night, the first night there. And then the next day they get on a plane into Canada. They're heading to Canada for a performance when the plane crashes. And they all have to survive. So this is a reverse harem. She's in the wilderness with her 40-year-old stepfather and her 2 stepbrothers, who she has no connection to because she doesn't even remember them. So it's 4 stars. So then this is the thing too. Before, I had originally given it 3.5 stars, but this is where we talk about audio can either make or break a book, and the audio was obviously good enough for this book that it bumped it up a 0.5 star for me. So I'll continue on later, probably this next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, next I read a historical. It was the one I picked up while we were in Phoenix, and that is The Madness of Lord Ian McKenzie by Jennifer Ashley. And so this is about Beth. It takes place in 1881. Beth is a recent widow, and she now has quite a bit of money, and she has decided that she just wants to live her own life. And she has somebody, a suitor, And Ian warns her off of this guy and is like, no, he's probably just wants your money. And she's like, well, actually, I don't want to be with anybody. I'm going to do my own thing. I have money. I'm tired of people telling me what to do. Adios is basically how it goes down. And Ian is considered crazy or mad. What do they? Yeah, they call him. They call him mad, right? The
Yep.
mad,
Yep.
and throughout the book, and it's because and he spent most of his younger life in an asylum. And basically, as you read the book, you find out that in today's society, we would probably refer to him as like neurodivergent.
Okay.
And Ian decides that he actually is very smitten with Beth and wants her. So he ends up, when she leaves, he ends up following her and they start a friends with benefits situation. And yeah, because Beth don't need no damn man,
No. Mm-mm.
but she might decide she wants one after all.
Uh-huh.
I rated it 4 stars. So I'm trying to work on my reading more historical romances.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I told you guys that after picking up that book by Mary Magdalene and then like having to wait a whole month for the next half, which okay, fine, I'll do that. So just in case anybody wants to know, I did talk with her this week a few times, and she's written a bunch of books like ahead of time, and she's releasing them, like slowly releasing them. So they're already pre-written. So if you notice a whole bunch of books that are coming out by her over the last year or so, it's because she already wrote them and held them for a while, and now they are going to the editor and being published. And so that's what she's doing. But she has another pen name, and that is Samantha Dice. And I picked up a book from her, a dark romance from her, in under that name. That is the last book. I might be reading a book right now by her as well. So I mean, it did start a thing. So this is called Destroy Me. So this is book 1 of 2. So this is a part of a duet. And the second book in this duet will be out on the 20th of this month. So don't have to wait too long for this one. So this is one of my favorite tropes. This is a captor captive. And it is definitely dark. So this is about Amelia. She has this fiance, Brian, and Brian is having some money troubles, and they've been just having troubles in their relationship in general. And so Brian suggests that they go on a hike. And just to kind of reconnect, they're going to go stay the night out in the woods. She's like, okay, fine. It's been like last minute. She didn't get a chance to really tell her parents or anything, but she's going on a hike with Brian. And that night they set up the tent. They have a great day together. She's been asking him about the money troubles, but he keeps telling her he's got it under control. Everything's fine. And so they go to bed that night in their tent. She wakes up in the middle of the night and Brian isn't there. So she goes searching for him. She can't find him. He's not outside. He's not by the river. He's not anywhere. When she runs into this bearded giant of a man, and bearded giant of a man drugs her and takes her. She wakes up in a cabin in the middle of nowhere with a chain around her ankle and the giant of a man there. So he has stolen her. He is going to keep her. And if she runs, there's a lot of trouble that happens. And that is our hero, who doesn't really talk to her. He uses one word here and there, and we don't know what's going to happen here. So 5 stars. It was great. There's a lot of really rough things. Definitely check triggers if you have triggers for either one of these books, but especially this one. It is dark. I think she lists her triggers in the back of the book, which I love, so that somebody like me who doesn't have triggers doesn't get spoiled. So
Okay. So my next book is called Saving His Heart by Avery Maxwell. I've had this book on my shelf for 3 years, and I'm trying to work through the books on my shelf as well as read all of the new releases I want to read and all of that fun stuff. So in this, we have Preston. Preston is a billionaire and he has a heart situation. His heart is failing him and he is going to die. And so he needs around the clock, like not around the clock medical care, but he needs kind of like a private nurse to administer his medications, take vitals, and all of this stuff. And that's where Emery comes into play. Emery's actually a doctor, but she loses her license is suspended because of something somebody else does. And we find out about that at the very start of the book. So she's then hooked, like set up to go work for him. And the book like skips like a year forward. There are so many other characters in this book. I found it rather overwhelming and I got kind of annoyed because I felt like they took away from the book too much. There's a lot of other stuff happening in the story that had nothing to do with the two main characters, but he ends up having some family that comes to stay with him, a friend, and like they don't get along, but then he's like turning to this friend for like advice, and it was just really annoying to me. But he then ends up introducing her to everyone as his live-in girlfriend, and because nobody knows about the heart situation, he doesn't want anybody in his family to know, so that's how he plays off why she's there. Everyone else loves this book. It has really good reviews. People say grab your tissues. I am a very emotional reader. I expected to be crying. I was bored. I blame Jessica. I rated it 3 extremely generous stars. And it's obviously me because of Jessica.
Why am I getting blamed? Oh, wait, I know. What
Oh,
was my answer? What did I say to you?
let me look. I'll
Okay.
just scroll
I know
back.
I gave you a snarky reply when you said that to me.
Let me see. There, I'm suggesting that you read Buttered by the Biscuit. Okay, I think it was after that. You're in a warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
I needed an Amazon code.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely after the Amazon code. We talk a lot, guys.
Okay, I just read a book that everyone said is super sad and makes them cry. I was bored. Bored, Jessica. What have you done to me? Your quote is, I introduced you to quality literature and now everyday mediocrity.
Mediocrity.
You should be thanking me.
Yeah, not mediocrity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my thank you.
So everybody else, like this book is rated like 4.58. Everyone else loves it. I was bored. I don't
Yeah,
know what happened. It was maybe a
because you know
mood.
why? We have found some amazing indie authors out there. And so books that people don't always find, we're reading, and a lot of the times they rank better and rate better than these other books that are extremely popular.
I should say there is an author's note that says that the series, they're standalones, but they're better, they're interconnected, but it's better to read from the start. I got this book from the author herself, and I don't recall her telling me I needed to do that, but it is in the book. So there could be some blame on me with why I got annoyed with the other characters, and other people might have been like, oh, I loved seeing all of them, but I just was bored. I'm so sorry. Let's move
Yep.
on.
Next.
Okay. Oh, it's me again, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
So next I read Barbarians Rescue by Ruby Dixon. I am so close to being done with this series. This is number 14. And this is Summer, and I wrote down I can never remember these alien names. This is my
Summer
downfall.
and
Warwick?
Warwick.
Warwick.
Mhm.
Okay. So Summer talks a lot, like a lot. And I'm listening to these and I kind of thought it was funny because the audio is done so well that when she's talking and gets on like a tangent, the narrator like does that and just keeps talking and kind of almost speeds herself up as she gets going on the talking. And then Summer will like sometimes stop and be like, oh, I'm rambling again. And I loved it. So the slave capturing people have landed on the planet and have captured the tribe. And now Summer, who can't stop talking, is paired up with Warwick, who is a pretty quiet alien dude. And the two of them have to work together to try and rescue their tribe and to talk about a mismatched couple besides the obvious, human versus alien thing.
Yeah.
They have to work together. I actually enjoyed this one. I don't know what has happened to me. I rated it 4 stars.
Okay. Next.
Okay, so next it's the buddy read book that I read, but I think I can freely talk about that because we just did our live
You
show, which
can.
we're recording this after the live show, which this comes out Monday, so you can go watch the live show on Amber's channel if you want to, and stay tuned because, well, to our channel later this week, we'll have some announcements coming soon about the buddy read for April, which is going to be our 3-year buddy year anniversary. So we're going to mix it up and do something kind of fun with Amber and Jen, and that'll be on our channel.
Yes.
All right. So Lost Song by Claire Kent was the March buddy read. And this is about Kat. Kat marries her high school boyfriend when impact is happening, like as everything's starting to go down. They move out into what we would call the wild in the book, and to like an Airstream travel trailer, and they're surviving pretty well. But Jessie, they're like 19 when they get married. They decide to get married and move to the woods. So Jessie just goes along with whatever Kat does. Kat wears the pants in this relationship, and she tells him what to do, and he does it. He doesn't really have a backbone until he decides that he doesn't want to live out there by themselves anymore. He is done with it, and he tries to convince her to go join the militia, and she doesn't want to, so he just leaves. And it's basically like she wakes up and he's gone. So she has been surviving by herself for, I think it's been like 2 years. And she has a dog, and everything is going really well. That must be my kid walking out on our back property. Anyway, sorry, that distracted me. Well, there's somebody, like, I live out in the middle of nowhere, and I can see somebody walking back there in a black hooded sweatshirt. I'm
It's
assuming
one of the
it's my son.
boys. Yeah.
It's starting
Or
to
you
rain.
got yourself a stalker.
So he's coming home, I think. Well, possibly. He's following the trail, so I don't know.
Probably
Anyway,
not the stalker.
so she's been surviving just fine. She comes back from having been out trading, and there is a guy laying in front of her trailer, almost dead. He's bleeding out. He's been shot. She has not had much human contact other than when she walks into the town like once a week to do some very quick trading, and she's back. And so she is very much like a black cat heroine. And she helps him and tries to send him on his way the next day, but he's recovering from a gunshot wound and he can't leave yet. So she reluctantly, like extremely reluctantly, lets him stay. I love this book so much. I rated it 5 stars. This is Micah. So if you've read Protected, you've met Micah before. And I loved it so much. The character development, like we watched Kat go from this reclusive, like hermit, basically. Yeah. To just a very different person. And I loved it so much. I want to go binge read the whole Kindle series. And as soon as we're done with this, I think I'm going to go do that. I have to finish Hopper, and then I'm gonna go binge read it. I wanted to continue reading in this world as soon as I finished Lost Song, but I didn't want like
confuse yourself.
Yeah, I didn't know. I wanted like to really be able to recall the story correctly without, because they're similar settings and everything, you know what I mean? So I was like, no, I'll wait until we're done. But now we're done. So
perfect.
I'm off.
Okay.
To go do that.
But you have another book?
I do. I have one more book to talk about. Okay. So then last I read Storms and Secrets by Claire Kingsley. This is about Marigold and Zachary. So Zachary has had a crush on Marigold for a while. And I think he is her sister's brother. No, her sister's brother. Gosh. Oh, this is why afternoon recording is not great. He is her best friend's brother. So it's best friend's brother, but it's written a little bit differently than that. So Zachary's kind of had a crush on her for a while. They've had a falling out, so he's kind of pretended like he doesn't like her. And we don't know what that reason is. He is working on something, and and he falls and almost die, like, you know, life flashes before his eyes, and he realizes like he has this near-death experience. He has to tell Marigold how he feels about her. So he goes to try and tell her, and it turns out she's already started dating this guy, Preston. So he does everything in his power to make her dates fail with Preston so she will take him seriously. Claire Kingsley is a romantic suspense author, so this is romantic suspense. So we can tell that our friend Preston is up to no good. Jessica, my timer went off.
Sorry, I had a daughter in here asking questions, so I had you muted so I could answer her question. She can't find her scrubs, and it's a thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I loved it. It was really good. It was there's some funny stuff. There's an accidental nipple piercing in here
That's
that
a
was to be
gentle nipple.
redeemed.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
Somebody else has nipples.
Yes, yes. Let's be jealous of the man's nipples, Jessica.
I'm
Anyway, the
jealous of everybody's
reason
nipples, Mandy.
I I've had this series on my shelf for a while.
hmm
Oh, but like I think it'll be here in
Well,
May,
we
April.
met her, yeah, about a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you get it
in
then?
May it'll have been a year. So I had read Obsession Falls, and then I got the other 3 books from her that
hmm
were coming, that were next in the series. And then we're reading Whispers and Wildfires for book club. So I decided, ooh, I'm going to try and get these 2 done before book club. We'll see if I make it. So I have one more
So,
to do before
Whispers
book
and
club.
Wildfires is what number in the series?
Number 4. You don't have to read them in
No.
order. They're about the Haven brothers. I'm trying really hard to read the stuff on my bookshelf because
Yeah, I know.
it's a problem.
It's a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I just thought this would like get me really excited for book club and
Okay.
hopefully get everybody else excited to read for
Yeah.
book club.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah.
there we go. That
I
was a
would
pretty
also
good week.
check triggers for that one because it is romantic suspense and it does deal with the topic that some people may not want to read about.
Cool. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely think we both had a pretty good reading week for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap her up so we can start the next reading week.
Yes, I really want to go read the Kindle series. Okay. So make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and a lot of times Wednesdays for new videos from us.
We're still not committing to those Wednesdays. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.